Hi there, today I want to talk about beautiful book covers. This isn't quite a tag, but Jean from Bookish Thoughts did this and I really enjoyed her video, so I thought I could make a response and show you my prettiest books. I love physical books and I'm definitely one of these people who will buy a book because it's way too beautiful not to own and keep in my house with all the other beautiful books. So let's get started. First, I want to show you this beautiful hardback edition of Jules Verne, which actually was given to me from my late grandfather's library. He also loved to buy and collect books, and so I guess it runs in the family. This is Autour de la Lune, which I'm not quite certain how it's been translated. This is a French edition, so that's what the title is. I absolutely adore this cover. The illustration is printed straight onto the fabric of the book, and it's got loads of lovely detail. There is an anchor and a compass and a train and then a little rocket that goes into the moon. There's just a lot of visual interest on this book, and it's got beautiful colors as well as a golden spine, which I quite like. It also has a ribbon bookmark and some beautiful engraving style illustrations on the inside, and a little JV for Jules Verne at the back of the book. Next we have Fool's Assassin by Robin Hobb. This is the latest in Robin Hobb's series. I got this book at the Robin Hobb and George R. Martin in Conversation London event that they did in August, where they were interviewed by the mutual editor, and it was wonderful. The tickets were a bit pricey, but we got this beautiful hardback as part of the goodie bag. It's just very beautifully finished. The title and author named are this raised, embossed kind of shiny lettering, so is this banner. The cover itself is mustard yellow, but then it's got this gold finishing on it that I'm not sure if you can see, but it is really beautiful. Under the dust jacket, it's this beautiful deep blue with some gold on the spine. I also really like the back of the book, where it's just this butterfly and the very intriguing sentence, "A secret is only yours so long as you don't share it. Tell it to one person and it's a secret no more." Next, we've got another book by Robin Hobb. This is The Willful Princess and the Piebald Prince, which is, I guess, a short story set in the same universe as her main series. I haven't read it yet. I'm quite far behind on my Robin Hobbs. What I really like about this one is that on the inside it's got some really beautiful end paper and some gorgeous illustrations. I also got this at the convention, so it is signed and dedicated. And next are some more tiny hardbacks. I really enjoy tiny hardbacks. I feel like they've got all the beauty of the proper hardback, but they're not as heavy and as clunky to read. They're just more comfortable and practical. This is the Poison, Charm and Beauty series by Sarah Pinborough. The first book, Poison, I've loaned to a friend, but it looks pretty much the same, except it is dark red with a vial of poison as a main illustration. One of the things that I love about these book covers is that it feels to me like it's pretty obvious what's in them. The glass slippers and the loom on this one and the vial of poison on the first one are very well-known fairy tale items, and in fact these books are fairy tale retellings. They go through the story of Snow White, Cinderella and Sleeping Beauty, all linked into one universe. But they're not quite the stories you know and love. They are much darker and grittier. One other thing to point out is that they are fairly short and a quick read, and they're also really beautiful as a set. So I would say those would be pretty good to give away as a gift. Next is Maplecroft by Sherry Priest. I've been really excited for this book to come out since I first heard about it. Sherry Priest is one of my favorite writers, and she writes a lot of historical horror, which I really enjoy. Now this book is about Lizzie Borden fighting off Cthulhu with an axe, which sounds very much like my kind of book. The cover is also gorgeous, and again it does a really good job of tipping you off to what's going to be in the book. It's got a young woman with very elaborately done hair and a very obviously fancy old-fashioned dress with a very demure collar, but then she's holding an axe that's dripping with blood. I also quite like the type of the title, slightly gothic, and the overall color of the book. I'm really fond of this purple. There's also a very nice grungy kind of overlay that looks a bit like scratch marks, and that makes it look both fairly old-fashioned and vintage, but also quite gritty and as if there are monsters in the dark. So I absolutely can't wait to read this book. This is A Natural History of Dragons, a memoir by Lady Trent by Mary Brennan. I have been wanting to read this book for the longest time because the cover is so intriguing and beautiful. It's obviously some kind of life story with the subtitle A Memoir of Lady Trent, but the word natural in the title, as well as the illustration there that looks quite a bit scientific in nature with the scales peeled back and little numbers all around, kind of tell you fairly specifically that this is going to be a scientific history of dragons. We've got something that's possibly historical with the main character being a lady, certainly fantastical with dragons, and something that looks like it's going to be steeped in science and scientific process, and that I always find fascinating. I also really like that the illustration wraps around the cover and kind of fades away into the text. And finally, The Rabbitback Literature Society by Pasi Ilmari Jaskalainen. I apologize, I'm pretty sure that's not how you say this person's name. This is a Finnish book and I have absolutely no idea what it's about. I got it at LonCon in August. I supported the bid to bring Worldcon to Helsinki in 2017 and got this book as one of my supporter rewards, I guess. I'm really excited to read this book because I'm not sure if I've read a Finnish book before, and so that can only be a good thing. The thing I love about this cover is that it's mostly typography, and I'm very fond of typography. I also love the fact that it's basically just blue and white and that it's got this kind of shiny blue foil on it. I love the open window with the snow blowing in motif. I love that the snow is falling on the word rabbit. Those were some of my favorite book covers, and as you can see, I really just like shiny books. What about you? What are your favorite elements on a cover? Is it all about the lettering, or do you prefer for the illustration to be really awesome? Let me know in the comments below, and let me know if you've read any of these, or if maybe I've inspired you to pick one of those up. If you want to get one of these books and you're in the UK, make sure to go to your local independent bookstore and ask for a Books on My Bag tote bag. If you want to see another tag video, I recently did the Booktube Newbie Tag, and if you want to know some more about my favorite boarding school books, I did a video about that too, and you can find it right here. If you've enjoyed this video, please subscribe, give me a like or a share, and I'll talk to you really soon. I've been Claire, thanks so much for watching, and see you later.